Okay, today is the 20th of February, and we're talking about the Nine Energies book. And on the call are myself, Susan Fisher, and do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Sarah Blackwell.
I'm Ben Librand.
Cool. And Ben, you're a 5, and Sarah, we're working on you. Good. And and Ben's daughter is in the background, Anna, and she's a 7. So we were just talking about the recent learning that we've had at Nine Energies from the experiences of Burning Man and some of the, where there's like this, a lot of people in succession. So in a day I'll work with 100 people, and that will be about 10 of each energy, although they seem to come in waves when we're doing that. And so I really got a sense of micro movement and bone structure and body structure. Because people at Burning Man don't wear a ton of clothes either. So you actually get to see the physiology and the shapes of the bodies. So for 5, what we've learned is, I think it's the whole parietal bone. And then there's the parietal ridge goes across, and there's muscles on the side of the head. So when you're actually activating 5, you're lifting the muscles on the side of the head and creating a crown-like sensation. And we've been playing with the position of the head, and there's a very specific place Martin talks about as the loud place, where things get louder, and it's kind of like a lock-in spot, like about, if you play with the position of your head, and you'll probably feel one place where it opens the connection to the spirit. And then there's that sensation of suspension. And Martin started to talk about being here present, from here down, and from here up in the spirit world. The heavens, whatever the world is for, or it is for the other place that 5 lives.
When he says the loud place, does he mean like that's where you can hear the spirit world more effectively?
Yes.
That's what he.
Yeah. Yeah, the world here doesn't get louder.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about having muscles up there before, but.
Well, most 5s aren't aware. I mean, most people are not aware of the musculature they're actually using. So if I describe to you how you're activating 5, you don't need that description. Yeah. You're just doing it. The rest of us, when we're working on how to activate 5, if we think about lifting with our temporal muscles on the side of the head, it creates awareness of the crown.
I know if I'm in conversation with people, I often do this, and it really, I've noticed myself doing this for a few years now, and it helps me focus on the interaction with the person or the matter at hand. Whereas, I don't know.
Martin's been playing with sort of different ways to help 5 activate, but the other thing is to just put your finger on the top and actually push down and then push up into it. And that's a much more, that's the sort of more focused way. But it really is, it's the crown. It's like the parietal bone seems to be involved with.
I guess if I kind of push on it, if I kind of push on my crown, I feel more of an opening to, I don't know what you call it. I guess I'm a little embarrassed to call it the divine.
That's a good word for it. It's as good a word as any, right? So, we've been talking about each of the natural energy essentially is tapping 1/9 of divine energy in a really different way.
Right.
And so that is that access 5 has to spirit, again, for lack of better words, it is, I'm sure you can describe it better than I can. It is this place where you take your bodily input from your empathy,
Mm-hmm.
and your mind's input from what you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this intuitive leap that you can make that allows you to combine what you know with the empathy from what you're feeling to actually lead humanity forward to understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that's like it's like an understanding of it's an understanding of seeing the oneness, or like seeing being able to still be your own individual self, but also connect to like the the part of the universe where we're all connected, or something like that.
It's so Martin's had 2 pieces of learning recently, which is the cosmic observer, which is the first chapter that we're theoretically talking about today.
Yeah.
So turning on your natural energy, the activation of your body and the activation of your natural energy, whatever it is, creates a bodily awareness that allows you to turn on your cosmic observer. So your natural energy isn't your cosmic observer, it's the adjustment to the body that activates your awareness.
Right.
And you actually, and 5s describe their cosmic observer as going, above and looking down, taking a almost aerial view into what's going on in the world around that. And other natural energies don't describe their experience where they're cosmic observer in that way, just so you know.
Right.
But it is, the concept of it's a 10,000-foot view into your life is very accurate. Although for 5, it's even more true, because you actually are essentially looking from above. But Martin said he had to actually consciously think about turning on his conscious observer.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming in? Well, why don't you come here? He's busy working. He said he has to jump into his cosmic observer. And he talks about having sort of a room or a space where he just knows what he knows and is this comfortable, place that he moves into when he consciously activates his 5.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been doing some like meditation exercises recently, and one of them that's really resonated with me that I've actually like taken to heart and kind of have been implementing into my regular practice is just like imagining like a ball of light above my head. You know what I mean? And like kind of having that be like the center of like my divine, or my understanding of the divine. So.
Yesterday, Martin actually talked about imagining light coming out like a fountain out of the top of the head and flowing out and around. And we talked a lot about the protective nature of 5, that when 5 can essentially put a spiritual bubble around whatever space they want to create a protective space for what's happening within it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that image.
Yeah, I liked it too. I was like, oh yeah. It's like, ooh. It's like, well, because we talked a lot about that part of the role of 5 is to help make the world a better place. That the empathy that 5 has drives fives to try to fix the things that are causing the discomfort in the people around them. And that in order to, that there is a component of creating this container of protective container, so whatever needs to happen can happen without any outside energy and influences coming into the space. So,
I think that's true. There is definitely like an impulse to fix things. I think that's also can be a shortcoming too, though. I know that, like, you know, sometimes I've had to learn that, like, sometimes you need to give people the space to do the fixing on their own, you know?
Well, absolutely.
But my impulse is to, like, no, like, you just need to do this and this and this and this and this, and then, you know, like, and then it'll, you know, be better or whatever.
Well, and that's, I mean, I think there's an art to each of the natural energies, to us actually giving the gift that we have to offer. And so you feel the discomfort, and you can see many possible ways of solving the problem. So how do you create that container where everybody in it? Fives actually create a sense of safety when they put that spiritual bubble. Go, Sarah. I'm sorry.
I mean, what is intriguing to me about the nine energies perspective is the contribution that we can make just by offering our physical presence and our attention to something and I mean, I think, like, you're both right. I mean, I guess I'm trying to offer a little more fine tuning, because I have experienced the contribution of what Ben is wishing that he could contribute without him saying or doing anything that seems like it would be doing something from a physical manner, you know, from, like, well, you say that you give the advice and then the words convey the thing that helps the person. And it's like, well, I do think that just by being present and offering your attention to something, like if I'm processing something, just Ben's presence and attention to it, I can benefit from that.
Absolutely.
I mean, but if it's in a mood of, like, if there's, like, fear or uncertainty, or, like, you know, or a lack of trust in the process, then then it can be the, like, sort of advice giving, you know, you should do this thing, which I think Ben is noticing is counterproductive sometimes. But
it's the attachment piece.
Yeah.
I think what you're pointing to is when we attach to how our gift is received, and we try to control and direct the way in which it's what people do with it, is when we really trip ourselves up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and you're absolutely right, Sarah. It's your physical presence that has, I mean, even here on, you know, in Skype, Zoom, your physical presence and your spiritual presence is just as impactful.
And I think where we put our attention also is a point of influence.
Absolutely.
Like, if we could be physically in the room and that offers something, or we could be somewhere else but putting our attention on something and that offers something. I don't know how that works, but that's makes sense.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about Natural Energy 3. Last night, a Natural Energy 3 friend came over, and he was talking a lot about how and where we direct our energy has a huge impact on what actually gets manifested. And that's something that's very, very, threes are very aware of. It's like where and how you direct your energy, where and how you extend your arm, where, you know, he was talking about yoga as a way of kind of explaining this concept of this, where and how you extend and direct your energy has such a powerful impact on what gets manifested. And that's very much, that concept is very much understood and taught by 3. Is like, how do we use the direction of energy to create and manifest?